What's up, party people? Welcome to the Writer's Block Party Podcast. We are a podcast about creatives being creative. We come up with a movie, TV show, or product, and you get to tag along for the journey and the process. In this week's episode, we have award-winning filmmaker and musician from the UK, A.T. White. Be sure to check out his new film, Starfish, available on video on demand. Welcome to another episode of the Writer's Block Party Podcast. I'm your host, R.C. Cepeda. Today we have your co-host, Andrew Kadzilla, and the award-winning filmmaker and musician, A.T. White. Welcome to the show.
No one clapped when you said your name.
Because they don't need to.
Everybody hates him.
We actually do a drop. We just plug in some audience clapping from me. Yeah.
Okay.
And
then just dead crickets from what you say.
Exactly.
Just you two.
How's your Sunday been?
It's been pretty good. Yeah. I'm in Hollywood, so I'm feeling disconcerted because I tend to be on the west side of LA, so I never come to Hollywood because you guys seem lovely, but I fucking hate it here.
I hate it here, but I live. I'm just stuck in this rent cycle. You know, that's the only reason why I'm here.
That's fair enough.
But it does provide us a nice brick
That's true.
Background.
You have
only place in
old buildings.
Brick background.
Yes.
In Hollywood.
But real quick, we do want to give a good shout out to our sponsor, Sunday Scaries. Ooh. You've seen them on a few of our episodes where we've been providing their gummies. They have vegan gummies. They also have FOMO bones. The FOMO bones are for dog treats for anxiety, that fight anxiety. Cool. Yeah.
Dogs getting
anxiety
now.
What they have now, what you can get is CBD oil. So then now they have the oil drops you can put into your beverages and just kind of feel that calming relief and that sense of anxiety relief. And the beauty is, since day one, you can put in the promo code WBP10 for Writer's Block Party and 10% off. And you, the viewers, and whoever wants to go online to sundayscaries.com gets 10% off the purchases.
That is very generous. Very
generous. And we're very, very happy to have Sunday Scaries as a sponsor this whole time. So thank you again, Sunday Scaries. CBD oil available now. www.sundayscaries.com. Promo code WBP10. Writer's Block Party, 10% off. Awesome. So support them. And also don't forget, as always, to support us on all our social media pages. We have our Instagram. We have our Facebook. And you can find us on anywhere that you find your podcasts. And subscribe to us, hit that bell, just hit that like. Just keep getting that content towards your way. Keep getting those episodes in your inbox, please. So
I'm going to counteract all your sponsorship now awkwardly for the rest of the episode by just promoting Embrace Your Anxiety.
You can embrace it still with the anxiety oil from.
That's true. You probably have enough that you can still take them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Manage your anxiety.
It'll counterbalance. All right.
Curb your anxiety.
Curb.
Just level it out a little.
So today we are going to, the way the Writer's Block Party Podcast, we are a podcast about creators being creative, right? So we're going to, together in unison, we're going to come up with an idea for a movie, TV show, product. You, as a guest, will choose the movie, TV show, or product that we want to go with.
Seems fair. And
then I'll present you with 3 name, title ideas, kind of like the warm-up we had, which if you are our Patreon supporter, you will see that exclusive content. But kind of like that.
It's golden.
We're going to pander the whole time.
Yes, you'll choose movie, TV show, product, the platform, and then the title, and it's a jumping off point. It's just a seed to generate the ideas from. Most of the time, it doesn't really end in that title. We'll kind of create the final result, but it'll just start the idea.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Have you yet had any of your listeners or viewers take one of these ideas and go and do something with it?
No.
Nobody listens to this.
Have you checked?
You have to have listeners and viewers.
We have to have listeners and viewers.
This is true, but we need those.
One day.
But then we have a timestamp of when
this
we
is
posted
like,
it.
You know, like when you get those books for like 1,000, great ideas or something. Yeah. You're basically creating a library of that for future people.
Yeah. 1,000
they're all bad. Some of them are actually really great.
The beauty of it is as creators, right? And this is where from day one this was my stance is as a creator, I can always create. So there's always something that can be created. For you. It does. Whether it's a little song or whatever the case, as a creator, there's always something that you can create. So in our
you can always be doing more.
Exactly. So and then the beauty also of the show is, for the most part, we take the more silly route. So just to make
Just
people
go
laugh.
bad, go silly.
Yeah.
Sky's
It could
the
still be
limit.
useful though. I think Hollywood has proven that bad ideas can make tons of money.
Clearly.
There's
So-
tons
I mean,
of bad ideas that make
Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
all you got to do is pump enough money into them.
They made
and
two
to
Beverly
shout
Hills
at people.
Chihuahuas.
I know they did, and they shouldn't have. All right, so, okay.
Look, let's be clear. This is the public's fault. If they hadn't gone and seen the first,
your
fucking
fault.
film, they wouldn't have made another. That's it. If everyone was just going to go and see
If they didn't
Upstream
spend that
Color,
money, exactly.
then they would make millions of Upstream Colors.
All right, so, ready. Movie, TV show, product. The product could be a video game, a game show,
Anything. It's everything that's not a
anything,
movie or TV.
movie, TV.
So not to echo the connection that is me to you guys show, which is your episode with Shannon, but video game. Because here's my reason. Do I give a reason?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
One, I'm a huge video game nerd.
Okay.
But two, movies are going to be too exposed.
Okay.
I don't want to do something I'm trying to make a career of. But I wanna do
That makes total
something I'm
sense. All right,
passionate
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna make a video game with A.T. White. Okay,
Woo! I
so
like
three
it.
titles,
about.
and
Guy in the crowd, I love him.
okay,
A.T. White.
The rest of you, come on.
okay. Excuse me. Left hand sorcery.
Okay. I mean, that one kind of writes itself.
Spliff-Splaff.
Spliff-Splaff.
Spliff-Splaff. And then the final one, as old as time. TH.
Spelled like the herb.
Yeah, like the
Oh, you're a fucking nightmare.
I already warned you guys.
These are catapult points.
Yeah, they're
You know,
just-
we don't have to. These aren't the titles. We can.
These are
always
like the
change
working
it.
title.
This is just the working title. We can use it
Just
as
the
a
idea,
joke.
the
It's a
idea
seed.
generator, just a
It's
seed.
a seed.
Exactly.
Can you say it one more time?
Left hand sorcery.
Yeah.
Spliff-Splaff.
You're showing your hand, aren't you?
I don't care. I haven't heard these yet. I'm allowed to hate all of them.
As old as time.
And it's a video game.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Cooking game.
I mean, to be fair, I think we've already dictated
Remember Burger
it's a
Time?
fucking
It
mobile
works.
video game
Yeah,
from
it
these
works,
titles.
though.
Yeah.
They could be, yeah, like those little, like,
Hey, that's what video gaming is.
No, we're going to aim for something loftier. So we're going to go with, I think, Spliff-Splaff. Just
Oh,
because I think
yes.
you can go many different directions with that.
Spliff-Splaff, the video game with A.T. White. All right, so
I'm
why
regretting my choice already.
why Spliff-Splaff?
Why? Well, because the other two were even worse.
Okay,
you
note
can sum up
to
this
self.
shit.
Note to
Writer's block
self.
party.
Review my
Don't
title
get worse.
choices. All right, Spliff-Splaff. What comes to mind that could be utilized in this video game that we're going to create?
Well, I
With
mean,
that title.
you got puns in there, obviously. You're talking about, like, so I don't know if you know, but the original name for table tennis is Whiff Waff.
No.
So I think that's probably why I chose it, because I love that table tennis it should be called Whiff Waff. I think it's a
Actually, it
ridiculous name.
should be.
You know what's funny?
I like
It's
that.
meant to be like, I think it's the noise it's meant to make as your back
Do
goes.
you know?
Because that's the
Do you know what's
noise.
funny? It's in my box of goodies here.
No.
I have a table tennis setup.
No, do you
Yeah,
really?
that I do because I practice on my day on time to time. I'm sorry. I have a Whiff Waff setup right here.
Actually,
Please,
Whiff Waff
you
sounds
start it.
great. I would know what you're talking about if you said Whiff Waff.
Yeah.
I mean, we also got ping pong.
But-
Ping pong, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I live in Hollywood. There's a lot of Whiff Waff outside. You know.
That's Riff Raff.
Oh, God.
Me. I hate you so
What an
much.
asshole. We're looking for a new host. Does
Is that
anybody,
door locked or can
anybody
I walk out
host?
of
No,
it?
it's always unlocked.
anybody host
please.
podcasts?
You're not a prisoner.
I'm taking the mic with me.
Yeah, just burn it all down on your
Hey,
way
come,
out.
that was pretty good.
You're
Come on.
kidding me. Okay, so what are we thinking here?
I mean, obviously we have, the Spliff connection, but I'm gonna be blunt.
Hey-o.
Nice.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
But then not pause and point at people. Like
Your crowd could be like, yeah, I get his jokes.
Because I'm actually the only guy in LA who doesn't get high.
Same here.
So
Yeah,
well,
actually,
now
yeah.
you just fucked up my
Oh,
sorry.
Why you gotta do that? The sentence
Okay, let's go back.
reversed over it.
No, let's go back. Wait. Okay, continue.
I'm pretty much the only guy in LA who doesn't get high.
Okay.
So I kind of like I feel it's kind of like politics. I don't think if you want to be the president of America, that you should get to be the president of America. Anyone who wants to run a country, they're not mentally equipped to run a country because
Okay.
they don't appreciate how stupid that is. And I feel it's the same with like stuff like this. Maybe it's more interesting to have people who don't do drugs to make content about drugs.
That's a good point. Yeah. So it's like a joint effort.
I said you don't point.
long day, guys. Hope you're not
As you-
exhausted yet.
when you see me going like this, I'm like just trying to think of the next pun. You know.
Yeah.
I've already picked my favorite.
Yeah,
I'm going to put the mic over here now.
So as we were talking, so what are you thinking? So as far as this goes, what direction are you thinking? So would the game be from the perspective of a bunch of stoners, or would the game be? Do you have to be high to enjoy the game? Like, what is the goal? Like, what is the element you're thinking that this benefits people?
Let's steady on with that last.
Not benefit, but I mean, like, at what level? Like, where am I? What's the gimmick of the game that now you're getting at? Like, you're aiming for.
So the second one was Spliff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be clear, it's not a word, but I was being generous. The second one is...
I don't know if it's a word or not.
No, it's
I don't think no.
It's not a real word, at least. An Urban Dictionary word. Look up splaff.
Yeah,
Anybody
let's see if
want
anything
to,
comes up with
Splaff.
Splaff. I guarantee if anything does come up, it's fucking terrible.
It's like
It
the
is.
Urban
It's a
Dictionary.
secret.
It's dark web stuff.
Is it PH or
Urban
FF?
Dictionary, I don't think counts.
Urban Dictionary says Splaff is a person that every pub owner in town knows he or she will have invariably have been barred from most of the pubs, but ultimately the pub will change hands and the unsuspecting owner will let the Splaff in without trouble.
You've unwittingly
Booyah!
formatted the perfect point. This
So
entire
yeah,
game
they're
now.
yeah. So
Was it getting chucked out or getting kept?
It's getting kicked out of every bar in the neighborhood, and then until a new bar opens.
You're the
and
Splaff
then
in town.
Yeah.
See, that sounds fucking great. Because you could combine like an open world GTA type game, but with like a theme park game. And you could have it like co-op online, where one person is actually approaching this as a theme park, where they're trying to build new establishments, keep customers happy, and the other one's going into all these establishments trying to get
And
fucking
shutting it
chucked
down.
out. and
I
shut
like
down.
that.
It's an
Yes.
online interactive game.
Yes.
You get to
So
decide.
two
are you the
genres.
Are you the splaffer? Or
or
are you
the
splaffy?
Spliffer. I love it. I love it.
And DLC could be your version of Splash.
Not my definition, but I see what you're going there. I love
Depending
this.
how they
is
edit
great.
it, your definition.
This is great. This is great because like there's a lot of indie games, right? Anyone can make a fucking video game.
Yeah.
In for the most part.
I mean,
So we could
let's
create.
respect the industry.
Yes.
But to be fair, I've seen a lot of garbage video games.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, anyone can make a garbage video.
I'm saying
game,
every
sure.
can be garbage one. I think we can make a better one, and I think this is really interesting. Now, what kind of game style do you want this to be?
Yeah.
Well, this thing, because honest to God, because I like playing on my own.
Okay.
However, I do if playing with other people is always more fun, but less involving.
Yes.
So I've always loved the idea of can you cross genres in a video game? Can you even just change genre? Like I always like, can you have like walking simulators, which I love, like
yeah.
Vanishing of Ethan Carter and Gone Home and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You agreeing?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
understand?
you.
Okay. Just checking. You're
I'm,
like,
I'm thinking
yeah.
about it as you go. No, I'm thinking about
But
it
like,
as you
I was
go.
always like, well, why can't you have like a walking simulator for like 5 hours, but then something happens that changes it, and then it becomes a shooter for these amount of hours, and then after that it changes and becomes something else.
I like
So is it
organically.
like the Tyco or Tycoon where you're one gets to build? They're building the world. They're building the amusement park, and then the
Yeah.
other. Oh, I love that.
So
Because
Oh, actually,
there's
that's
more
great.
things you could do online
so
where like
great.
one person's basically playing. So there was a thing a bit like this. I think Eve was the game that did it, where what you had was like this long-standing sort of massive multiplayer game in space, essentially, where you were dealing with whole money infrastructures and all this stuff. And then later on, they created, I've forgotten the name of it, but a first-person shooter that was happening on ground. And you were actually from console, you were being relayed information from PC players who were basically dictating to you in a sort of almost command and conquer kind of way.
that's awesome.
And then you were on the like boots on the ground playing it.
That's
essentially.
awesome.
Which is really cool. So I think it's something like that, but where there's less people, there might only be like, 2 people, or maybe 4 people, because there's a lot of 3v1 nowadays. And the one would be the person who, again, could be on PC, whatever they want,
Gotcha.
who's doing the sort of theme park, tycoon, whatever. They're just trying to build it, and they're looking at it from God mode. And then you got like 3 people who are all like, stoned. And trying to keep, so like when you play Red Dead and you go in a bar and you get too drunk and it's hard to walk?
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like
got
that. So
little-
increasingly just like more and more difficult, or like in Sea of Thieves where you're like drinking and you throw up into a bucket. And then you can throw that bucket on other people's heads.
So your characters are almost starting at like a handicap, essentially.
Well, it won't start that way, but you'd
if
need
they
to
choose
create
to
it
go that
like
way.
their health is like constantly going down unless they keep
There's
smoking.
a time limit. Oh.
So they've got to like run around, find drug dealers, although you don't need drug dealers. Well, depending which city it's set at. Different levels could be different cities.
Different
so some
cities.
it's going to be easier because it's legal. So you'd start in like LA and it's like, or Colorado. It's like, fine, you could just go. And then you'd go to like England or something where you go, fucking back alley and get shot.
You gotta buy it.
Not
It's
shot, stabbed.
Really shady.
It's England. Yeah, those are like the harder levels where it's not just hard to get like thrown out and beat the other player who's trying to like theme park it, but it's also gonna be just difficult to score the drugs to be.
Is there going to be?
That's awesome. I like that.
Is there
Are we
gonna,
done?
Yeah, we can go. That's good.
should we have like where you can talk to the other players?
I think the spliffers should be allowed to talk.
Between the spliffers and then the splaffers
Yeah.
and the splaffers.
Oh my gosh! So
Yeah.
we almost have two separate. So now I
That's
assume
kinda
this
cool.
Is this is obviously an internet-based, very
Yeah.
interactive online community essentially that we're creating.
Yeah.
And I think I like the idea that, and I don't want to reference like a Fortnite type idea or PUBG or any of that stuff.
Sure.
But
Let's just bring up the biggest games in the world.
But I'm saying
Cut.
the general idea though is that those are successful because of how that interaction is, and I like that if maybe we have a game similar that has that level. Forget all like the skins and all that blah 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 and all the bullshit that goes with it. I'm talking that the interactive play quality of it is kind of cool. You're playing for people all over the world, which is kind of awesome.
I do love that it's keeping it within that realm, right? If you choose to be a spliffer, then you
That's
have
your
your you can only communicate with that, and you can, get together and gang up on whatever the case, or just like kind of
Yeah.
build amusement park together. I love this. This
Well,
is
and,
great.
and one of the spliffers could be like, oh yeah, like I just found this guy down this back alley, was where I scored my shit, and then I just got chucked out of this. They're already like pissed off with people who are stoned in this one, so maybe if you go in this one, they're gonna chuck you out super early. But then someone else can be like, oh no, I just literally took the last bag of weed from this dude, so like he's got nothing anymore. So,
And
he's
so then,
So even as a choice, as a character, could you choose to be the drug dealer?
I was just gonna say, yeah, can you do
well,
that?
if you want to create, if you want to make this complicated, guys,
We
then
should.
Sure, you could do that, and then you could even extend it to like a burger time game as well, where there are some people who are just in the actual establishment trying to serve all the shit.
Rolling joints in a fucking factory. You gotta put in your time.
No, but even just like in the bars, just like trying to get your drinks and your food out and stuff like that.
Tapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry, yeah, not Burger Time. Burger Time's one where they're all falling, isn't it?
You have to
Yeah.
run across. Stuff would fall down. Yeah.
But I mean, you could. Why not make one of the elements fucking 8-bit?
Oh, it's so good.
But that
That could be a
fun
little
because if
sub-game.
it's all connected.
Yeah.
Mini games.
Yeah.
Because if
minigames.
somebody doesn't do the work here,
Yeah.
then these people here
They don't have a
benefit.
place to
you
go.
You basically create an ecosystem
Yeah.
that actually has to work as
Yeah.
a gameplay system because there are people who like the mind-numbing aspect of like Burger Time is just the fun
Putting it
puzzle.
together,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Then people like the idea of GTA where you're
Management,
running
and
around
people like-
doing
yeah.
it. Then there are the people who like to create, and those are the people up above
Well,
really
it's-
fucking with everything around
So
you.
we're creating a whole new world.
But you could create like, this is what I'm saying, like create little, like make it manageable, because I think it's doable. Like
Yeah.
make little tiny boroughs of different cities. And again, like
Boroughs.
scale it. Sorry, it's a British thing.
No, no, but borrows, because it's the bars. Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
I mean,
boo! Every time.
Where's the eject button? Hold on. No, but I love that. Yeah, we're
make
creating
little ones, little
yeah,
manageable. So yeah,
little
you have an
neighborhoods.
ecosystem that's built around, just a few streets, or even just one street, but with back alleys for each level. But all of those establishments are actually open. And all those establishments that are working, you've got like drug dealers like mixing in and out. Then you've got like public you got to contest with as you walk out, like because you might be like coming out like as you get increasingly stoned again, red deading it, so you're like stumbling into people. You
And you can like
arrested,
then get in
potentially.
fights with those people. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
No, it's
And you're gonna get hungry.
I think
So you should have like a separate meter for when your munchies get
your
too
munchie
much.
meter.
Munchie meter.
It's
Speaking
munchie
as someone
meter.
who doesn't understand how this feels, I presume you can die from the munchies. So like if that gets too much, then you can die from just like, oh shit, you haven't eaten anything.
And-
so here's the beautiful, and I feel this is where we get into the metaphor of life, guys. Because what's the point of doing anything unless it's subtext nowadays?
Yeah.
So the subtext can be the point of the game as a gamer is to get chucked out. However, the more you get chucked out, the less food you can get. So you could die.
so
Because
then
you
have
gotta
to
like
be-
try and balance the timing.
You have to pick your
of
battle.
being chucked out at the right time
And the
that
right
you can-
place.
yeah, so that you're keeping your like famished level going just right.
Just get chucked out of a buffet, you'll be fine.
Stuffing shit in your pocket. It's all spilling out in the streets. One of the other spliffers is like just picking it up and eating it
Jumps
off the
you.
floor.
I feel like this game exists on TI-83 calculators. Should I say that? It feels like one of those games where you have
Oh,
to pick.
what was that game that used to play? The drug dealer game.
Yeah.
It was
Mafia.
really good.
It was a Mafia or something.
It wasn't called Mafia. This
There was a
like
few where you
Dealer?
Yeah, I don't know.
I never graduated to a TI-83. I always had the little shitty ones.
so-
I had a
I never had it, but I
TI-12.
wanted it. But I think I had it for a phone at one point in time, and I was kind of like into it for a couple of months. I was like, oh my god. I need this.
Well, this is great. No,
Playing this.
I mean, we've
I need my fits.
we're building
Yeah.
we've built this world.
What do you do?
We built this world thus far off this stupid little title ideas, and I love it. But I definitely would love to put a pin in this because you, as an award-winning filmmaker, have
Can you
built.
stop saying that sentence, please?
Okay, sorry. Well, but you are. You won some awards. It's a great film.
Sure.
But you as well. I mean, clearly it's showing. Like you've also created your own world, right, in this film, and in what you've been doing.
All I've been doing is describing my movie.
It's all been a big
You
plug.
like this?
clearly you can watch it. No, but I won't use that word, that sentence. But Starfish is clearly, a great, beautiful film. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. Not just because it's here, it honestly is a beautiful film. Beautiful music-wise, beautiful, just cinematography-wise. With that, how, I'd love to know, and the viewers would love to know, and the listeners, how you got into directing, and how, you got into this world.
I slept my way to the top. That's pretty good.
Nice.
To be honest, I went to film school a long time ago. And unfortunately, I always go you're not meant to date yourself, but I have to, because when I was at film school was when digital wasn't around. It was just starting to happen at that point. But it was standard definition digital, which is a fucking nightmare. You go and watch 28 Days Later now on Blu-ray, and it takes a good 15 minutes to get over how terrible that film looks, but the film's so good it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a great example, by the way,
Yeah.
for people.
No,
when people are
definitely
I need the best equipment to make a movie, it's like, no, you don't. Go watch Rubber done on a 5D, go watch 28 Days Later done on a standard, you just have to
Well, the grittiness of that film just adds to the beauty of that film.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that I would love to see that film on 35 millimeter, but it doesn't matter because the directing's so good.
Yeah, and the content
the acting is so
He
good.
can be forgiven, basically.
Yeah, it's like theater. You go to see theater, you understand these are just people pretending to be someone right in front of me. And for me, that's a really difficult divide. I struggle with theater because of that. But if it's good enough, you get past that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And you just absorb. And it's the same with technology and film. So I've diverted from... I've just deflected your question.
No, that's okay.
I was in film school, and it's all I ever wanted to do. I'm one of those annoying people since I could talk. All I wanted to do was make movies. That's it. I was in film school, and I was too cripplingly shy to work in film because you need to work with a lot of people. So I did a little bit of that, but then I moved into animation pretty quickly.
Nice.
And found, you have to draw the same picture 24 times per second. Fuck that. But I was trying.
Is there an app for that?
I know. I was trying because I wanted to, and I like hand-drawn animation. I like 2D animation. I'm not a big fan of 3D animation, to be honest, just because it ages so quickly.
Which makes total sense, not to interrupt, but it makes total sense because there's a beautiful, perfect scene in Starfish that turns to the cartoon animation. And when I was watching, I was like, this just caught my attention. It just... the movie itself already did, but it just flowed so well. So that makes total sense that you have that background for that. I just wanted to throw that out there. For those that haven't seen the film, there's a bit of the beautiful cinematography, then it cuts in. I'm not trying to give it away.
No, you can give it away.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever we have to do to get people to watch our movie. Anything you're looking for in life is probably in our film.
Watch.
But yeah, so I did animation for a while there, and then I left and quickly realized art school's useless because no one's going to hire you because someone else thinks your art is good. They're only going to hire you because they think your art is good. And I was in a band and that was in alright, so I just went in music for a long period of time. And I always was looking for a way to get back into film as I saw digital coming up. And in all honesty, it wasn't until I would go to this festival nearly every year for about nearly 20 years in London called Fright Fest. Which is just horror pretty much. Now it's just more cult. They'll do Donnie Darko and Battle Royale and stuff like that. And I saw Gareth Edwards' Monsters. And it was one of those films you see where you're just fuck, this is the movie I always wanted to make, It was very intimate, it was almost done like a documentary. And then finding out his story was it was just him, a sound guy, a couple of helpers, and then the 2 actors. That's it. And they made this whole movie on prosumer gear. And so I did some press at that point, so I kidded myself? That's not really true. I faked myself, I guess, into a press junket to meet him. I met him briefly at the festival, but then I met him.
You split yourself.
Sure. There was no splapping. and he's for starters, he's just the nicest man in the world. But he enthused to just go, just do something. You'll find out if you can do it or not, and just buy something like a 5D or whatever. So I took the money I'd sort of saved up from doing music and put it into buying exactly the same gear he shot Monsters with, which again wasn't it's expensive, but not that expensive because it's all prosumer. And I went and made my first short because I was it's been a while since I've been at film school. Everything's changed a little bit with digital. And I did it that way with just the guy on sound, 1 helper, and 2 actors, and we just went and made this short film in a kind of arrogant way of I can do this, and then afterwards came out going, oh no, it's fucking terrible. But I got lucky with it and won some awards with that and did some festivals. Nice. So I started traveling with it, did 3 more shorts over a period of a year and a half or so. and then ended up in LA supporting one of them, and kind of it just sort of went from there. It just sort of meeting people and the typical LA sort of thing of you show someone something and then they show someone else and then a producer gets interested and then it takes 4 years to make the film you're trying to make because there's so many weird.
Well, you're finding the right people, right? That's the beauty of this city, especially in this industry, is the networking, right? You meet one person that gets you into this. I mean, that's honestly how this came to be. Is like I knew one person like Ali, and he met now we're here. So that's.
I mean,
great.
and in all honesty, to infuse to people as well. If anyone's like watching, and they want to do things creatively. I hate networking. I can't do it. Like I just can't talk to people. It's the same thing as like whenever I'm single. I've never in my life walked up to a girl and just said, "Hey," like in a bar, because you can't. Because the honest truth about it is like, okay, if you see someone in a bar, guy or girl, I don't care, like whatever, and you go up to them and you start a sentence, the only true thing out of your mouth is, I've seen the side of your face and I think I want to fuck you. Like, that's the only true thing you can say.
Not
you
Splaff,
don't know anything about them.
And there is some truth.
Anything about them.
Yeah. No,
So to me, it's like, well, that's stupid. I can never ever do that. And I feel the same with networking, particularly in Hollywood, because like the only thing you can do is like, oh, I need a job. Maybe you're the person to give it to me. And that's just not a good place.
I think
to
it's how
start
you
a
word it. Like, hey, you know
conversation.
what? I'd like to work with you.
No, sure. I'm not saying other people can't do it well in a successful way to like cover up.
Yeah.
That they
But
just wanna
the
fuck
underlying is.
the
I
person
get
who's
that,
going
I
to
get
give them
that.
money. But I can't. I just can't do it. But so when I was at this film festival, I was with my partner at the time, and she was pretty shy as well, but she was much braver than I was. And was like, let's just go talk to one person, just one person. I was like, I don't want to talk to one person. I want to hide in this corner with you. And she just picked someone who looked nice. She's like, that guy looks nice. Let's just go talk to him. I was like, fine. So we went and talked to this one guy, we'll give a shout out to, he's called Dave Hill, who was a director who I think had a short at that film festival as well or something. And he was super lovely, and he like gave me his email address, and I sent him this script I was working on, and he then loved it and passed it on to his producer. And my entire thing here, I then got a manager pretty quickly, like happened from the one person I talked to.
Awesome.
And I still know him. Like I just went to see his feature film debut down the street actually
That's
in
awesome.
Hollywood last
Great.
week, which is called Flying Cars.
Flying cars, nice.
Yeah, no, it's
Definitely,
cool.
we'll definitely put a plug for him, or get a shout out to him.
Yeah, no, because he literally
help,
like
yeah.
like I mean, I hope I would have met someone
Yeah.
else at some point.
But in the timing, it was just seems perfect.
But yeah,
It's,
that was an annoying illustrative point to me. It's like, oh no, you do have to talk to strangers. But I hate it.
The whole
that's,
point is, don't hesitate to talk to strangers from time to time.
Yeah.
if they look nice.
Particularly if they look comfortable in your
Sorry,
presence.
Everything you taught me was a lie. Just kidding. That's great. You in that you have a music background. And this is a point I'd like to make is it does show in your feature film Starfish, because apart from the beautiful cinematography that I've mentioned in the animation, another thing that drew me, and very honest with you, is the music that you chose. The music that was chosen for that film was just bands that I've loved for years or recently. It just, to me, just fit so perfectly. 65 seconds of
65 Days Static.
65 Days of Static. That scene, like I was like, who is this right now? I need to download this, and I play it like all the time.
65 Days Static, by the way. Sorry, I do want to
No,
talk
go
about
ahead.
it
Yeah,
for a second,
of course.
because like, which is a good time because they actually do a lot of video game music now. They do No Man's Sky, so we should get them for Spliff-Splaff.
Oh.
There we go. We already have. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
What better for this game than post rock?
Yeah.
But 65 Days Static, like they actually went to school with some friends of mine, and they were like heralded as they're going to be the next Radiohead. They were like, this is the real evolution after Kid A of where Radiohead should be going, way back then. And it never really happened for them in a way it should, because they are pretty obtuse. And it's
Until now,
pretty crazy.
with this podcast.
Until now that you're telling your public. I mean, they're doing great.
Thanks,
now
Mom.
with video games and stuff, and some movies I think now. But people need to listen to 65 Days Static. They're incredible. Particularly their first album is. Woo.
I'd love to hear. Did you help on picking the music? Was it just you that picked the music, or how did that process go?
So to be clear, like skipping over the boring meat of how, when you said how do we make the movie, basically.
I'm not in this industry. That's why I'm like, for those that are not in the industry as well. Like, I'd love to know how that works.
Well, I mean, so we actually went with private investors. We didn't, because the problem with Hollywood is when you shop stuff around, it becomes old IP very quickly. So people tell everybody everything here, and it's actually a very small industry when you're talking to like the sort of top or middle to top tiers of people. And so you have to be very careful with when you choose to reveal you're trying to get something made, because if no one really wants it, it'll just dissolve, like it becomes old news. So we just very carefully went to some friends of friends, essentially, who were in like boutique production houses and stuff like that to try and fish around with a script that I had. and they're all interested in it for a couple of million potentially, 1 to 2 million, which for a first-time director is great, but you'd lose creative control, which is always the balance that you're gonna have to go with. Yeah. And then we had some private investors become interested because other people were interested, and they were giving us way under $1 million, but they would give us full creative control. So yeah, so like for me and my manager and people were like, you know what, we know how crazy we want this film to go, and we'd rather, we know this film's not gonna make loads of money, we know lots of people will hate it, but we'd rather make an interesting, mess of a crazy film that's very expressive and very honest, as sort of a feet in the ground of like, this is the extreme. Obviously there's like a more high hope when I make my next film, it'll be more narratively simple. But that was kind of the balance that you kind of had to go with. I've forgotten your start-off point now, where I was trying to get.
Well, no, that's great. That's good. Good look into that world, because again, I'm outside that world, but with just the music that was chosen.
Yes, sorry. So yeah. So that's it. So then you get like much more control over all that stuff. So when I write a script, I actually write the music into the script, and I'll send the music out with the script to people. I should be talking to you more too. Hi.
No, you're fine. I'm listening. No, talk to him.
It's like we're at a date and then your friend just turned up to make sure you're fine.
Hey guys, I would like some fries.
This is going great right now.
No, don't mind me.
He's a chaperone.
Just making sure it goes well. RC's handsy. No, you're fine. You're fine. You guys talk. This is actually better for their filming. It's great. I'm chill.
You're not even in frame.
I'm not even. No, this is right.
I'm just talking to fucking Tyler Durden.
This is awesome.
So I actually write it in. I'm annoying. I send out the songs, and then I hope people, and no one obviously listens to them other than my manager. But it's that baked in, because when I come up with an idea, I tend to come up with the character very early and the ending very early, or the beginning. The middle's like the last thing. And the music, then I create a playlist of what their character would listen to. I'm a terrible writer, so all my characters are me. But I listen to a lot of different types of music. So I'll like push it into this area, or this area, or this area. In Starfish, obviously, it became very literally baked into the script of like, this is an important plot point, is the music.
Well, for sure.
And so the songs were like, it's my first film, I want some of my favorite music. You need lyrics, because there's not much talking in the film, so you need lyrics that kind of tell you what's going on inside the character, but not too on the nose. Which is tricky. And then you want ones that you think you can get the licenses for, because you don't know. And also my friend, it was written for my friend who passed away, so I wanted songs that were ones we actually gave back and forth, so some of them are that as well. So there was like a whole bunch of things. But yeah, I got every song I wanted, other than one, which was a Charlie Parker song that we had to replace. Which we could have got, to be fair, we just couldn't afford it at that point. And things like Studio Ross were just like, I didn't think we'd get that, and that for me was like, we were right at the end, the finish line, about to do festivals, and we didn't have licenses, because licenses take forever.
I can imagine,
like 6 months, to get this stuff done. Sometimes, I mean, obviously,
especially if you have a time for the festival, like you need to like get it.
Yeah, and when you're indie, obviously it's gonna take longer. If you're big, like, of course, like films
have all the budget and all the money.
But at our level, it takes forever, and when you want favors from people, Sigur Rós were lovely, and obviously they work because they're in the film. They worked with us, and they gave us a very nice system for that. But
because they were in the film.
No.
I was like, what? I was like, Yonzi, I didn't
not
see
like
Yonzi.
Game of Thrones. There was a point where I thought, we're gonna lose Sigur Rós from the end, and that was terrifying, because I was like, I've constructed the whole scene around that music.
Honestly, like you need to watch. Like, the ending is just. It's visceral. It's beautiful.
I'll be honest. I hate everything I do, including this right now. But the ending of the film is the only thing I've ever made that maybe one song I've written. But like the only thing I've ever really done, I like.
It's beyond beautiful. It really is. Really is.
No. But I'm not gonna go that far. But I like it. So I've been doing a lot of Q&As recently, and I toured with the film for like a month and a half, so I had to like watch the end of the film over and over again, and it was lucky because that was the only bit I was happy to watch.
I keep watching that.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, my final question, and it's kind of a funny, or not funny, but it's a more of a quirky kind of question, but it makes perfect sense. It might not be punny either, but no, I remember having this conversation with friends years ago, but. If you had to choose between losing, like only having one sense, right? But if you had to lose sight or lose sound, like you can either have one of each, which one would you choose? Because you're in both.
To be honest, I think about this stuff a lot.
It's a good question.
Because I'm very fascinated and aware and terrified of my mortality, and extension of mortality is like losing parts of your senses, which create, I mean, obviously it's an impossible decision. I would honestly probably go with losing sound, just 'cause I'm a very visual person.
Okay.
And I'm a very audio person as well, and music is incredibly important to me. But I think I would go with losing sound. Like there's something about space that's really important to me, and I don't mean literal space, but I mean like I do a lot of driving and road tripping, and the deserts are like very important to me, and I love part of that is the sound, just like the emptiness of the wind and stuff. But for me, like a lot of the meditative kind of sense of it is being able to look into the distance
And see
kind
that.
of like,
Yeah.
you know, that's it.
I think it's sad either way, sight or sound. It actually makes me sad to think about losing any of them.
Weird.
To think about, I mean, I know, but if you think about it, if you had to wake up one day and you could never see something again,
Yeah.
or you wake up one day and you can never hear anything again,
Yeah.
it makes me think of all the things I love to hear or all the things I love to see,
Mhm.
and it makes me go, oh, that would be really sad if that was gone.
Is this part of that?
All the time.
You
Actually,
won't be
it's
able to
usually when
enjoy
I'm here that I wish both would go.
I was gonna say.
It's when he hears my puns, you know.
Yeah, as soon as he says a pun, I wish I was both blind and deaf immediately.
I think it's because he, you know, he's having that struggle between he should be a spliff or a splaffer. I think that's where it really
Yeah,
just
that's
boils
what
down
it
to
is.
that.
Way to
So,
segue into that one.
Segue back into this. No, I mean we've created this world. We've created jobs in a sense, right? Like we've created restaurants.
jobs.
Like you can.
Everybody has a purpose.
We've got now music for it, but 65 days static.
Yeah, let's have them. If you can call them up and be like, hey, we got this video game, all right, online world community, community game. I think it's perfect.
Here's the honest thing, though, because if you're going into different bars, then each bar should be like the different type of bar, which would allow you to have completely different types of music.
Yeah.
So you can have like the fucking tweeny bopper one, and then the grungy
Rock
one.
bar, yeah, that's great.
That'd be great. One with fucking EDM.
Well, I think that's what's fun about the creator aspect of it, is that the creator who is, or the non-spliffs, they're riding above creating these bars and these worlds, and they're just constantly building this world as they're going. It is naturally, like that's the fun of the game, is that's where we can go, oh, we've added this type of building stuff, or we've added, that's where you can add sponsorships,
Well,
and that's
they
where it pays for
yeah.
itself.
Absolutely. When they're doing that in a kind of in a theme park kind of way,
Yeah.
they got to build their establishment, figure out what drinks they're going to do, how they're going to price it, how much salt they're going to put in their fries. But it's our theme
I
park.
know, it is.
It's
It's so
literally how much
true.
salt you put in your fries for how they're going to drink more soda, but when it's too much, they're not going to eat anything. And then you want to get into they got to pay fucking PRS funds for what type of music. So that's going to affect what music they're playing in these places.
Yeah.
It's so involved, and you never think about.
And what if one of them? Sorry, man. Sorry.
No, you're true. Cut me off.
But I'm excited.
Don't do it. I do it.
What? This is me excited.
I'm excited.
This is the cap.
I'm excited. You're excited.
This is the cap. What if one of them opens an EDM kind of bar, which, by the way, I would shoot myself. But one of them
You don't need
opens
to be
an
kicked out of
EDM
that one.
and
be
then
a
someone
spliffer
over
for
the
that.
road was like, fuck, I was going to open an EDM bar. And then he's going to adapt. Or he's going to go, you know what, I'm going to be a better EDM bar.
And advertise more.
Yeah.
And do this or do that.
Oh my God! So
And then
this
you
is
got
a whole.
competing businesses going on
That's weird.
for the spliffers' attention.
But see,
This
that's the thing,
is-
because if there's the idea to get kicked out, so every world is the idea that as a spliff, my job is to get kicked out of all the bars, yet still survive the night, essentially. And so if bars keep opening up. This is the worst part of the game, is like if your team is meeting up, if your bros are meeting up at the end of the week to get through, let's say Denver.
Yep.
Now we're in the Denver part of the world. Your high is
So we're in one of the early levels.
We're in one of the early levels. You can still smoke like crazy, so weed's easy. But now there's a ton of bars because maybe it's like the early world. So now there's like 30 EDM bars that you have to get through. Imagine a night.
I don't
where
want
you've got 30 EDM bars, and that's just what you have to get through tonight, so you can get kicked out tomorrow.
Well, when you're talking about what does so well for like Fortnite and blah blah, there's a lot of factors, but one of them is that they're time based.
Yeah.
So like obviously it can end quicker, but there's a cap. And
I
that's
like
how it
that.
should be. It should be like each of these levels, like they're basically like different platforms that you play on, and you got like a 20-minute cap essentially in each one.
That's good.
Build, sell, smoke, get thrown out, get that balance right, eat your fucking burgers off the floor, do what you
How
gotta
long
do.
do you give them?
I think, but there are sweet spots. This is the thing. It's like 20 minutes has been proven as a sweet spot for online gameplay. When it gets to 30, some people like just cut out. You know?
Lose their attention span is
Yeah.
You
And
give them a 20-minute max, but that's the fun. Maybe there's like a special bonus round where they can jump in on these other ones and help
The little
maybe
mini
help
games and go
other
with that. That's
spliffers.
good, yeah.
You can jump into their game for 5-10 minutes maybe. You could jump into a game for 5-10 minutes, and you could be the bro who walks in. Maybe they're having a tough time getting kicked out.
Yeah.
And you go in there because you're a real piece of shit, and you know exactly how to get kicked out of that bar.
Well, especially if they're communicating, right? They could be like, "Hey, bro, I'm at this bar. I need help. I'm getting in a fight."
I'm getting in a fight.
Yeah,
They're not kicking me out. I've stabbed 3 people. What do I need to do in this bar?
No.
To get kicked out of this bar.
But it's
Bar has its different level of like
Of
what
security?
you're able to get away with. Yeah. They have to hire security. If they don't,
no, completely.
you can get away with
See,
more
we
shit.
are providing jobs for this. We're providing jobs.
But
This
this will be the
game.
eventual. That's the beauty of it. because
Virtual law enforcement is
what makes any online game really have legs is that you keep adding those layers.
Layers, yeah.
But they're already baked in, and it's perfect because then you can at some point have people playing as the cops. You can at some point playing as
It's-
the fucking
Yeah.
as
It's-
a university bros.
I think
it's-
the beginning of the game starts with the classified ads, and you like have to like, and if you decide not to be, if you decide to be on the ground, then you have to pick a job, and you're like, fuck it, I'll be security tonight. I'm not kicking anybody out of this bar.
So let me
that's the counterintuitive of it.
let me get
That's
this
fun.
straight. So they're going to Greg's List
Wow.
to find these ads,
Greg's List.
and they're finding it.
How long have you been fucking sitting on Greg's List, RC?
2 seconds.
Since Craig came to the Craigslist, I was like, damn it, I wish my name was Greg.
Greg.
But no, you're right. Like it's adding the layers. It's layers for players.
Oh
That's
my
what it is.
God.
Wow.
And
But
that I mean that should be free to play because this is a problem. You gotta like do the free to play. So like earlier you were saying like don't worry about the skins. You gotta worry about the skins. Because that's where you're gonna make the money.
That's where you're gonna make
Yeah.
And the only ones that are gonna be successful are free to play. And then all of the extra DLC they should be free to play DLC. Like it should all be part of the bundle. Like we just added in. However, like those skins, think about it. Think about it. All the things that the spliffers could
All
be
the hours.
wearing.
They
The
can
more
wear
we
anything
give,
they
the more we
want.
One of
give them,
them
the
could
more
have a
hours
fucking-
they'll spend. The more we give them for free, the more hours they'll
That's
guarantee
true.
to play.
Exactly.
They
And
could
when-
get owls.
And when we get to LA, if we could set it West Side near where I spend most of my time, we can have.
Even in the game, people are like, I'm not going to the valley.
Right. It's gonna take too long. Traffic,
Did you say
know.
where? No, I'm not going there. I'm going to stay home.
If it's beyond the 4 or
Does the
5
metro
truck-
does the metro go there?
There's what they call a red zone and then a gray zone. And they only can go
Look,
to the red
you were
zone.
saying.
we can get my favorite antagonist of the West Side, which handsome-looking man with sunglasses on skateboards being pulled by their dogs, and they could be good like obstructions.
That's like Paperboy. Like the
Yeah.
game Paperboy. Oh my God. So that's the thing. So
And that's
now-
what you'll pay for, or like what kind of dog is pulling him.
Oh God, they
There's
would.
so
People would
much-
pay so much money.
there's
to have
so
that
much
kind
to
of
this
control.
world.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
mean,
it would.
Because you need a strong dog.
yeah.
So like
To
if you
pull-
pay for a Chihuahua, it's going to be like a really fucking slow obstacle.
Yeah.
But then you could get like a
Like a
husky
bulldog or
something.
A
or
Great
mastiff.
Dane. 17 Great Danes.
Or actually, to be fair, within the last 12 months and fucking bird scooters, it'll be men with their model girlfriends and they get pulled by their girlfriend on the scooter while they're on the skateboard.
Oh God, but what a dream.
Legitimately every day.
Oh my God,
In my
that's
area.
so crazy. I never even thought about that. I have to admit, I actually do like the scooters.
I prefer the wheels ones because I could get sit
Yeah, I'm not a
down
lazy
and,
piece
you
of shit. I can
Oh,
get
you're
on a
not?
scooter. A scooter's already lazy enough. When you got basically a motorbike now on the corners, I'm like, damn it, what is wrong with this world? On the other hand,
It's
if
convenience.
If it cuts down on traffic, I'm okay with that as well, I guess. Either way, what the fuck?
Can we just have people when they sign up for bird scooters, you know when you have to do like terms and agreements
Yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. Can there just be a box they have to tick for? I'm accountable for the actions
Oh, yeah.
of what I
They
do.
100%.
So that
be,
when
yeah.
you get hit,
It's your
it's not
fault.
the fucking driver's fault.
Yeah.
I never would blame
It's
the
because you
driver.
don't know how to be on the fucking road.
Yeah, they shouldn't be on the road.
Are we
They
gonna
shouldn't be allowed on
are
the
we
road.
gonna include little vehicles like this in the game?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God.
Because then it's kind of like Frogger as well. Like the Spliffer's
Oh,
got to
yeah.
get to the other side of the street where they're like, you
It's
know.
like life.
Just got
It's just life.
We're just taking all kinds of games. It's like, I like Tapper and I like Frogger.
You just mix it all together in this
That's
little
how-
ecosystem.
what every idea out there has been taken is pulls other little ideas, right? It's formulating it too. Again, we're creating jobs in this thing.
But that's the
We're
thing, they're
creating
not even
jobs.
real jobs. People are just doing it to do it. And that's what's fun about it is that, imagine, I work at a bank all day long. What if I got home at night and I was like, man, I don't want to ever be the guy who works at the bank. I want to be the guy that goes to the bank. And so now I create the guy with the money who goes to the bank, who I hate, but secretly I'm like, man, I just hate it because I have to deal with this guy. Yeah, it's like Second Life. That's exactly what it is.
Only more, just more Spliff related.
Because that's what we're basically creating, is a world where you could just be the... Imagine, if you're a guy who's a bouncer at a club, do you find out about this game, go home, and then be like, I'm going to create the bouncer I wish I was. And then, like, create a bouncer type who, like, ironically enough, kicks nobody out of the bar.
I want to... Go ahead.
No, so what we've done is we've gone from a 4v1 game, which is kind of like Evolve and things like that, where you essentially have, 3 or 4v1, to a battle royale type game, where there's fucking 99 or 100 people in this little ecosystem, but everyone has their own jobs and their own lives. But then there are like X amount of spliffers, and they're the only ones really playing against everybody else.
So it's 2 different games. It's Spliff and it's Splaff, and you don't know that there's 2 different games going on.
No,
so like
until they meet.
set up their whole town, and they're like, everybody's happy, and then all these splaffers come in and take over your
airdrop.
And they have no idea. They're like, everything's operating well, and then all of a sudden,
it's
like,
airdrop
everybody
assholes.
you drop one asshole in every town. And you don't know
Oh
who
no,
it is.
it's an Uber. It's literally it's like an Uber.
It's an Uber pool.
It's an Uber. Hey, we're in from LA.
For everything.
There's 2 games, so it's like there's
2
like
separate. I love that. And then it makes
they have
that's
no
great.
idea that there's like this.
Another game.
There's a mole from another game being dropped into each town.
Oh my god, that's
How long? No, I love that. There's something there. How long? Should we give it a time frame?
We just-
you're just building a world. And I guess until the world is ready, until there's an amusement park, there's the
No,
bars.
halfway when they go to bed at night and the world is working, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just put it on auto mode." Guess what? What's happening in auto mode? I am splapping all over that motherfucker every place I can. Fuck that shit. They wake up the next morning and they're like,
What the fuck happened?
I should have enough points for what the fuck happened? What happened on my money? There's just dead hookers and shit everywhere. Oh, split skin.
Yeah. I think we've now broadened the scope
How
so
did
far.
I get roofied?
We've gone back to the second definition of splaffing. That's now 100%.
Gave it to you. I found it. You're welcome.
Oh my god.
We've also increased the budget by 100.
This game's
Before we were
gonna
like,
cost
this could be a
billions
cool
to make.
indie game.
No, I just.
Now it's like, no, we need Ubisoft on the phone.
Oh man, honestly, I want to see this happen. Sky's the limit. But I think I would play that. I
think-
would be addicted to that. I would have a real problem.
I think we need Dubisoft.
Wow. You just
Sorry guys.
chime in with
I mean, to be
garbage.
fair, at least you couldn't have been sitting on that one, so it's,
No, it's
slightly impressive.
Thank you.
quick.
This is great. I mean, and any. What else can we think of? We got the music already, right? We got 60 Days of Static. It's already set.
We're monetizing it. I mean, I'll be honest, it's gotten out of control. I feel before we had something achievable. Because the problem you get into, I don't want to make this serious for a second, guys, but speaking as a heavy duty gamer, the problem you're getting into is a thing called balancing. That's been skewed right now.
Yeah, well, the splaffs come in and balance everything out. Everything's going fine. You wake up. Not so much.
It's the
There's
yin
like
and
a place
yang.
on
It's the
fire.
yin and yang.
Somebody's pissed and shit all over one place. That ice cream corner is like
You're
somebody got
playing-
in the ice cream corner because it was shut down.
You're playing Amusement Park Tycoon, and if you woke up the next day, and I
Oh, you're
played
shit.
Amusement Park Tycoon, and I'm like, this is fun. If I woke up the next day, I'm like, I always see like, oh, disconnected power, and that always pissed me off. Imagine if it's like, it zooms in and there's fucking just people drunk, passed out everywhere, there are cars on fire. I'm like, what the hell am
What
I
happened?
watching?
The local team won again.
On the other hand, some other game, somebody accomplished all their goals.
NFL game. Also in on it.
Oh, you forgot it was Super Bowl weekend!
We could fold in a street basketball game. Get some sports in.
People are just doing
What do people
casual
love?
shit.
Sports, Call of Duty, and Battle Royales. Let's put it all in one.
What's wronger?
What's worse is when you got a guy who goes to one of the made-up bars, who sits at a bar and plays a video game while in the game. He's like, "No, guys, just leave me alone. I just wanted to play Frogger."
I was just playing this game called Judgment that came out last week, which is part of the Yakuza series. It's just a Japanese game, and you play like little concentrated parts of Japan.
Okay.
Where you normally get to go and kind of do whatever you want. You can go sing karaoke, you can normally swim, but normally you can go like buy some vending machines. There's Yakuza stuff you do as well. But you can also, you go on dating, go to like a love bar, like all this shit. And there's an arcade there where I know you can play like old video games from these developers in the arcade. Do you know? And I literally booted up the game straight away, watched this long fucking cutscene, which was boring as hell, and then got into the game. And within like one block, I saw the arcade. And do you know how pissed I was that I couldn't go in straight away? Like my immediate thing was like, let's go play an old game. That's all I wanted to do.
Within
and
the
they
game.
won't let me. They're like, no, do some story first. It's like, no, I want to play an old game, not your game.
I'm guessing the story was to teach you to play the game, and they needed you to learn that, or is that?
Yeah,
that's usually how they bury that in there.
I'll be honest, the story's not great.
But the arcade aspect was cool.
Yeah,
You found
I just want to fuck around in the world.
Have you gotten to play in the arcade yet? Then
No, I haven't gone back. I was so angry.
Look, I had to blow some
great
steam.
element.
It was
I'm not-
$60 well spent.
I'll show them. I'll never play this game again.
Yeah, you know what? They'll see the statistics on their
But see,
algorithm.
but that's the thing about video games, and this is so random, but I wrote this stupid spec script once about a concept of a guy, it's just a real quick thing, but a guy is like really into a video game. Let's take like a Call of Duty type game that comes out. Super involved, and he checks the map that shows where everybody is playing this game in the country or the world, and it's all lit up, and it's like that for months, and everybody's really in it. But obviously after a while, really, people start to fade away from playing that much, and it becomes less lights, less interest, and next thing you know, 6 months later, a year later, he's still playing the game, but it's only him and one other person playing this game. And so he like starts messaging this one other person who's actually playing this game because he really loves it and they really love it, and they start this budding relationship, and then they end up dating. You know, that's the whole idea, is that it's some guy and girl, and they kind of like fall in love over this one stupid game that everybody just completely dismissed. And that's the general idea, is that happens with games. Games have a cycle.
It's a connection.
You know, like I buy a lot of sports games. I'm not a cool gamer. I like Madden, I like NBA, and I like just the real easy shit, because that's what's fun for me. And after a while, if I'm still playing Madden 10, I'm literally 10 years behind everybody else's new version. So there's really probably like 3 people still playing Madden 10, which is why they sell for garbage. Yeah. And I always thought,
they shut the service down. Or something.
at some point in time, you can't do anything.
They can't keep
it
it
makes
up,
you think, what happens right before they completely take it offline and start focusing on the newer ones? How many other people are still going, I'm still playing online with this game? You know?
I haven't beaten it.
And it occurred to me.
Dude, I had that problem. I mean, the first 50% of what you just described was my life with Virtua Tennis. On EA, I didn't make a friend. And
awesome.
then literally last weekend, I was like, you know what I really want to do? I want to play Boggle online. And
You're on Boggle?
yeah, no, but on Xbox. Put your phone away. I want to play Boggle and Battleship.
Are the graphics better on your Boggle?
They are.
That boggles my mind.
I like my animation.
Well, wrap it up. Take like words with friends.
I'm doing an appeal right now.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
To your extensive audience,
Let's do it.
please get on your Xbox, download the Hasbro channel, and let's play some Boggle.
That's
Let's play
awesome.
some Battleship. Let's play some Monopoly.
Is it
Your
downloadable?
little metal dog's animated.
Well, this
It's delighted.
is the perfect time for you to
Delightful.
mention where
Since we're plugging stuff.
yeah, since we're plugging stuff. Can they find you? You want to give out your Xbox handle?
Oh no.
Does it?
I
was just kidding.
Yeah, no,
I was just kidding.
Work for it.
Yes, I'm Mr. Al White on Xbox and on everything, on social medias and PlayStation and whatever.
On your Instagrams and all the good stuffs.
Well, I mean, if you want to call it good stuff, sure. Depends what you do with it.
The
Well,
necessities.
I
If I
personally
follow some people on Twitter, whew,
you unfollow real quick. I think
should be banned.
I'm definitely set on Spliff-Splaff, the video game.
I'm gonna be honest. Again, we got off. We
can change the-
went-
we can change
yeah,
the
we
name.
went way off rails, but it's a very bankable idea. And what's great about it is you don't need to change the name. Spliff-Splaff is great,
Yeah,
and
it's
they
true.
would have if we kept it, more the initial like simple, just to pour water all over this fire. If you just peel it back a little bit, you would have the Spliffers and the Splaffers. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's what they would call each other. And it'd be like a good community.
I love it.
You keep your fucking mind out.
We'd actually just start probably a war between literally people, but we just now it would be stupid because in the paper you'd be like Spliff v Splaff, and I'm like, oh god, did we do that?
I'm definitely.
Spliffers are in the news today.
Oh, god.
Well, definitely we
Splaffing tycoons.
This has been a great episode. This is a great time.
You done? Are you shutting this down?
I would love. I want them to hear more about you
Oh, I mean,
in regards to this kind of goes into like We Are Geeks. You have a podcast. You're a host for We Are Geeks.
Is he
Do you
segueing
play a lot of?
professional,
He's
like-
trying to. He's learning. We've been having good classes on it.
I'm taking hosting for dummies. No, seriously. But we didn't mention that as well. So we did not mention that earlier.
No, you
But
didn't.
you have a podcast yourself.
I do.
and a host. We'd love to get some
I
people
like
onto
to
your
spread
podcast.
myself really thin so I can just do lots of things mediocrely.
Same up.
That's,
Same
that's,
up.
what, that's what we do.
It's a good way to
So
go.
tell us about We Are Geeks. Is
So
there video
We're
games
Geeks-
involved?
So essentially, I have 3 companies. The third one hasn't really been announced yet because it's launching later in the year, and that's going to be something a lot different, very, very different. And it actually has some sensitive material in it as well, though. So it's like all types of stuff. But anyway, but for right now, we have Weird Test Slate, which is doing feature films, which are kind of, and hopefully going to get bigger. Feature films, and then we have Weird Geeks, which is our entertainment side, and that's all free content. So that's like we just do a podcast every single week, which we used to do topical, and it used to be like a little group of us, and we do topical stuff where we talk over news and whatever, box office and stuff to do with film and video games. But I'll be honest, like topical podcasts, no one wants to go back to listen to them that much, which is a problem. And it was exhausting. I'd spend 4 or 5 hours making all the notes and doing it all before you even get to editing and all that bullshit. It's like it was killing me. So we started as a test the horror show where we would talk, because I love watching terrible movies. Like I'm a huge genre fan, and there are a lot of great horror films, obviously, but there are a lot of bad ones that you just enjoy, and that's fine. Like enjoyable films. You never need to apologize for just enjoying a film, even if you know objectively it's not great. But it, yeah. So like I got to that age where it's like I need to be doing more and creating more stuff. But I wanted to still watch the stuff. So I gave myself an excuse to do that, essentially. I was like, okay, cool, we'll watch the entire franchise of Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Wrong Turn. We haven't got to that yet, because no one wants to do it. Whatever it is, and we spend like 2 hours, pretty much, on each one, ripping it apart, going through it scene by scene, doing as much trivia as we can. We're not like the most knowledgeable people out there. I mean, but I do my research, and then it means I never have to like open that book again. It's really nice for me in an OCD level, because it's like I can close that. I know I've talked about it. When people talk to me about a film now in public, I'm that arsehole. It's like, go listen to a podcast. I don't want to fucking talk about the film ever again, and you can hear all my opinions on that.
Just check it out.
Exactly. Yeah, and we've been doing that now every Friday. Sometimes not Saturday, but pretty much every Friday. That comes out, and it's still tiring. Like right now, we're at that point. I like to have them like normally recorded a couple of months in advance, so I can take a break. Yeah. Right now, we're like week by week with Shannon and Alex. We're doing The Conjuring right now, and we're trying to like catch up. What are we talking about? Things. Money. A short film called Another Year. They're drilling somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Or you got like a porn shoot going on.
Yeah. Drilling as well. You're talking about Another Year. You're short with Shannon.
No, I'm done. So like I go back and forth between. I love working in a collaborative unit with a bunch of people, and I haven't done it on a massive extent. Obviously, I made an indie film, so it's not like I know what it's like to do it on a huge level. But I love that. But I also really love doing things with nobody, and how different that creative outlet can be to make something. And I do that. And there's only a couple of people really, like my friend Alex and Shannon, who I'm like best friends with, and we've worked together a lot. So we have a very good rapport with each other. So me and Shannon have done a bunch of stuff, and one of the things we're working on was literally just me and her, and that's it. And I would hold like the boom while setting up the camera, and then when we couldn't get sound, to be honest, most of the sound was done by I have a great post team in the UK who worked on Starfish as well.
Nice.
And they did it all for the short, and you would never know there was no sound for the film. It just sounds
awesome.
beautiful.
That's
and
cool.
there's not really any talking, so it helps, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's so freeing to be like, it's just the actor and the director, and that's it. And you can really just like, it's so relaxing. Like, there's none of that stress, and there's none of that judgment of other people around you, and it's just wonderful. I really love it. And for about 7 years, I've been trying different tests with that. Like I actually did a whole feature film I was involved with producing, which was done in that way pretty much, but it was just like 3 crew and 3 cast. And not everything went right. We'll learn a lot for sure. But I'm gradually getting close to that. So part of the other company that we're sort of launching later in the year is going to be doing that as well. Like films made for under 100,000 ideally, but at least in the very low budget, that are done in that kind of mentality. A maximum of like 8 people maybe making the movie, and it's just very relaxed and a whole different like way to do things. And proving you can make movies like more intimate little films and stuff like that. Whereas Weird Test Slate is hopefully bigger things, but yeah, so Shannon and I did something like that, which I'm looking forward to. Like we actually screened it when we did Starfish at the Landmark. We had a LA premiere for it, we screened it just before that, and that was the only time anyone's seen it
That's awesome.
to a private thing. So, but yeah, that was cool.
Having that little exclusive look on there, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely, loved having you on the episode. We'll definitely love our audience to, and our listeners and viewers to check out more about what you have available to show. I know Starfish is on Amazon. It's on video on demand, which is great. Again, can't say it enough. It's a beautiful film. The music is beautiful. Everything's great about it. So thank you, for what you did. Man, thank you for you and that
Thank you guys. So honestly, it's been fun. Can I say one last thing?
Of course, yeah.
Real quick? And I mean this sincerely. If people go on watch Starfish and they hate it, that's fine. But please keep taking those chances with independent film. Mm-hmm. Like if you see an indie film playing in the cinema, please get off your butt and go and see it. And if it's streaming, then watch it. If you're watching it for free or because that's great, doesn't matter. But please go and talk about it. And even if you have something negative, be constructive about it, but be negative, that's fine. But just the conversation is so important. And when you're an indie film, I can't even tell you, just for a very quick insight, I've met producers who won't, and distributors who will not even look at your film. They won't even watch it unless when they go and look at it, you have over, say, 50 reviews on IMDb and you're holding above a 7.0.
30.
So every single person at that level who gives a vote on something changes the landscape of what's going to happen to that film and those creators. Their whole careers are defined by it. So if you think you saw something and your voice doesn't really matter, I really like that, please go online and go on Rotten Tomatoes,
even
go
a
on
thumbs up,
IMDb,
all that good stuff.
go on Letterboxd, whatever, and just vote because it makes a big difference.
No, I can definitely see that. When always support the independent films and all that good stuff. Support local, all that stuff. And again, thank you for your support for this podcast. Thank you for being on the podcast. We'll definitely have an outlet and an area for our viewers and listeners to check out more about everything that you're doing.
And sign up for their Patreon because that other content amazing.
All the exclusive content that you missed earlier that you probably didn't check out. But yes, this has been another episode of the Writer's Block Party Podcast. Thank you again for watching and or listening. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. And also check out We Are Geeks podcast with ATY. Thank you. All right. Thank you.